Warning: the podcast you are about to listen to discusses films on the basis of the craft of screenwriting. It contains spoilers. Films discussed may also contain offensive content.
In today's episode, we will be discussing Collateral, released in 2004, and Lupin the III, released in 2019.
Testing. Welcome to episode 2 of Jay and Dave Went to Film School podcast.
And I'm now in a parking lot.
We're at our Scott Road parking lot office.
Yeah, SkyTrain station. Sitting currently beside I don't know what brand of vehicle that is. I don't know what brand of vehicle that is, but I can see that's a Prius.
We're surrounded by the vehicles of people we hope will one day be watching our films.
Potentially. I mean, I think there's like an old lady that drives that Volvo. But,
I mean, you guys might not be making content for the older demographic. I might.
That's true.
I'm kind of trying to span with writing feature films, dramas, and so forth. So, yeah, how come there isn't more anime and animation aimed at the elderly?
I don't know. I mean, technically speaking, right? We started animation like back in the 1940s with like Disney cartoons and stuff like that. And like you grew up with it. So you could just,
I mean, there certainly are ones that are enjoyed by the elderly now. Not that I'm saying I'm elderly, but...
I'm not saying that either. But I'm just saying, you could still watch it. I think animation's for everybody. All ages. Dude. I'll take my grandma out to watch, like, the latest Disney Pixar cartoon.
Well, and people of that age are now, I think, situated to knowing about animation. So now it should be totally acceptable to be at the old folks' home and talking about animation.
Yeah. But yes, this is our podcast where we talk about animation, which is my demographic of movies that I love watching. And Jason over here, my lovely co-host, live action guy. And we're actually joined by a special guest today, Aidan, our friend, Aidan Friend.
Hooray. Welcome, Aidan Friend.
Thank you.
You are our first guest on this soon-to-be huge podcast.
Of course.
Welcome.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited. I should get closer to the mic, too.
Well, we will find out. But the little marks on the sound recording software are showing that we're being picked up. So hopefully it'll be okay.
Okay. Cool.
So yes, we are all three recent graduates of Vancouver Film School. How was your experience, Aidan, at film school?
Mine was pretty good. There was some drama that I was in, but thankfully there was nothing too bad.
I think you got actually more good out of it than anything.
It is probably true.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on said drama?
No.
Yeah, that's usually what you don't do. The good thing is, like, Aidan now is no longer single because of film school. So
it's true.
If anything, that's a really good advertisement for VFS.
Yes. I have a lovely girlfriend now, Delma. I didn't ask permission to say her name in this podcast, but I think it's okay.
Well, we'll beep it out if you...
Yeah, we did some great work that I'm very happy with. I'm excited about all the projects I made. Now I know how to write screenplays, which I didn't before. So it has been a great help in the career.
And what was it that you did before? I know the answer to this, but would you tell our audience?
Yes, I was a YouTuber. If you have seen videos by the YouTube channel Aidanisachair, that was me. I made AI versions of Obama, Trump, and Biden talk about anime on a podcast for like a few months.
That's right. You were kind of doing the AI thing before AI was cool.
Yeah, it was right as it was starting off. There was those memes that were around in my sphere where people just cloned voices and made them talk about Minecraft or something, and I capitalized and somehow it got popular.
The coolest thing is, I still know this, that your big TV pilot, that is my present, is essentially just a continuation of what you did as a YouTuber.
In a way.
Yeah, you gotta know what the people like to be able to be in this business. So you capitalized on something,
Yeah.
and you turned it into what ended up being the pilot winning concept.
Yes.
Which you-
Shared,
yeah.
Shared.
winning.
with your girlfriend.
Double winning. It was pretty awesome.
That's pretty amazing. You guys either had to really buy off the staff, or it was just genuinely good work.
I think it was
Yes.
gently good work. There's no way this man holds that much money.
I don't, trust me.
So yeah, tell us a bit about the pilot idea.
All right. Well, I'll give you some secret background information on how I came up with it. I was basically just laying down in bed, dying because I hadn't figured out my health issues of my vitamin deficiencies. So I looked like a dying Victorian child in my bed. Me and Thelma were trying to come up with an idea for a pitch because the class was pitch class. We had to come up with an original idea for a TV show. And I was like, well, I'm really liking my What We Do in the Shadows, so maybe I could do something similar, where there's like pre-existing lore to the characters I can build off of. But then I was like, I really like my YouTube channel with presidents, but I can't just do that again. And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe I can, in a way. So the idea came up, it's changed a lot since that initial pitch, but it ended up being an animated 30-minute comedy where black genius scientist woman brings back the presidents that are on Mount Rushmore and realizes that they are not politically accurate, you could say. So it is a wacky comedy.
They're from another time period, therefore their behavior is kind of in line with a previous time.
Yes,
Okay, and hilarity ensues.
indeed. It is. I'm very happy with it.
I'm very happy with it too, because I told you that I read your script.
Yeah,
Honestly, some of the funniest stuff I've ever read.
thank you.
I always like determine like your comedy. Like whenever I try doing comedy, I try like a little bit, right? It still comes out naturally.
Yeah.
You're funny, but you don't try. That's the thing. That's the one difference that separates comedians like you and me.
Yes.
Don't try, but it is intentional, because there's also
Yeah.
that difference
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. It is hard to describe, because people ask me sometimes, how are you so funny? And I'm like, I don't know. It's a thing of, I'm writing the script and my brain is just like, put a joke here and then put setup and payoff. But I'm not like, I need to put a joke there, put setup so I can pay it off later. It just kind of flows naturally, and I have a really hard time explaining it to people. I think it's just something with my upbringing, because my dad was really funny. I mean, he
Okay.
still is. He's alive. I made it sound like he was dead.
This episode in memoriam of Aidan's dad.
It was Jason's idea to actually write you, but technically you're on my side of the spectrum of movies,
Yes,
where you're an animation fan.
I am. I'm not too well versed in Western animation, actually. I've seen stuff most people have seen, I think, by now. I didn't watch a lot of Disney when I was a kid because I got scared by The Lion King. Because there was lions, not because of Scar, because of Simba. So my parents decided not to show me Disney movies for like another 10 years. I've caught up recently, but yeah,
You got past the Simba nightmares.
for now.
Yeah, I think that's actually something that makes a difference for people coming into creative writing. Is if you've seen a lot of films, and two, you've got people around you that maybe have a sense of humor, if it's going to be comedy writing.
That's what I really liked about PFS, is just that workshop process.
Yeah.
Just having the immediate direct feedback.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
And as a comedian, I believe you are, just having people laugh immediately at your jokes during a table read just lets you know immediately that it's probably working.
It's very validating.
Yeah.
I can't write drama at all.
No, that's my problem
yeah.
as well. Like whenever I try writing drama, I'm like, funny if I just said this.
Yeah, and it's harder to tell with drama. I found when I wrote my feature, because I was like, I can't just do comedy the whole time because I already know how to do that. So I thought I'll make a drama, But looking at everyone's faces, it's really hard to tell if they like it or not.
Yeah, because like intrigue and boredom kind of have the same kind of facial expression.
Yeah. Just the
What am I going to do tomorrow?
Indeed.
After I finish this.
Anyways, I'll continue on my animation background.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch a lot of Disney movies or anything. I did watch Saturday morning cartoons every Saturday morning. Except one time I did on a Friday because I forgot what day it was.
And there were things to watch?
There was not. My dad was like, "Why are you awake?" I'm going to work. But I watched Adventure Time. I watched Regular Show. That one's my favorite. What else? I got a bit of Steven Universe. The 2010s Cartoon Network shows. I watched SpongeBob, but my mom told me I can't watch it anymore for some reason. They must have done an adult joke in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The same thing happened to me with Animaniacs, actually. Because like I got like that like DVD pack, like, oh, this is the entire season of like Animaniacs from the library, and like me and my sisters like watched through like half of that thing before, like, I don't know, like a Bill Clinton joke came in and like they triggered that. I don't know.
Huh.
It's like it was fine. I laughed at it. I was like, this is Looney Tunes but better.
It's very much like moms to be like that. They have they want to do their best with us, and sometimes that bar it takes a while to find the right place. I know with my mom, my favorite cartoon growing up was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nice.
The original. And there was one time when she said, "No, you can't watch that anymore either." It must have been some Eastern religion with the ninjutsu stuff or something.
It's not because like 4 turtles were hitting on the same girl.
They weren't hitting on April. They were well, Michelangelo was. But I think I talked her back into letting me watch it in my case. Because we're able to differentiate things that we want to pursue or not pursue.
I mean, if anything, honestly, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is just a history class. You're just watching Renaissance painters fight bad guys.
Well, and it's almost like saying just because you're watching people fighting, you're gonna want to fight. Which, I mean, for some people maybe, but it's not. Yeah. You don't have to pursue that if you're watching it.
Yeah, my mom had the same thing with video games, where I couldn't play anything with blood in it because then, or guns, or then I would go and shoot people.
But here's
which
the thing.
I am American, so it's kind of fair. Say that.
Like, wouldn't you want to do that? Because like the ideal is just to send you off to the military, and do that.
Well, my mom didn't want to send me off to the military. I was just like, "Mom, it's Star Wars guns, pew 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 pew," and she was like, "No."
I'm just saying, if they have it in Lego, it's fine for kids.
Yes, I could do Lego Star Wars.
Yeah, you could Lego Star Wars.
There we go.
Which is the pinnacle of video games.
Yes. Anyways, let me continue on my background. Why I'm here today is anime, I think. And what got me into anime was I watched Pokemon as a child. I didn't know it was anime. I didn't know there was a whole different, I was just like, it's a cartoon. And then in 2010, I was like, this sucks. It was like Pokemon Black and White, so they changed everything I liked about it. And I was like, no, I don't like this anymore. 3 or 4 years later, they changed it for the new game, X and Y, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, but I wasn't watching it because I didn't want people to know that I still liked it. So I looked up YouTube videos explaining what happened in the episodes, and that's how I got the experience. And then from that channel that I was watching showed anime, like other anime. And that's when I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So 2013, 2014, and ever since then, I have been watching anime with a couple year breaks in between, but pretty consistently, yeah.
For you, Jason, so Pokemon's a video game.
Thank you.
For quite a while.
I was aware of Pokemon.
Yeah. I just don't know what your upper limit of your knowledge is in terms of anime. Like Aidan, what's your top 10 anime list you're watching right now?
I'm not watching anything right now.
Oh.
Though actually, I watched one episode with Thelma yesterday of Romantic Killer, which is basically a rom-com that is a parody of anime rom-coms.
Oh, really?
I think. I watched one episode. And pilots are kind of different in anime because it's usually based on a manga, where the first 3 episodes is really the pilot.
No, yeah, that makes sense. It's like I've always tried. Yes, it's structured differently.
Yeah.
Like as a TV writer who like has watched a few anime episodes, I'm like, they spend like a lot of time doing exposition. I've found.
Yeah.
But it's always like kind of entertaining to watch. Because if I were to do that in like other forms of medium, it'd be like, this is taking too long. You don't need to say this. Just go straight into the action. But like I'll watch like an anime character be like, I'm watching Delicious Intention right now, and like there's like constantly segments of like the guy with the big beard, Senshi's being like, eat food because it's good for you, like, nutrients, vitamin deficiencies. You should honestly, you should watch it, dude. As a person with vitamin deficiencies, you'd learn a thing or two.
True.
Yeah, no. But any other like animes that you love besides Pokemon?
I mean, there's a whole list. I think I have. Let's see. I've seen so many. I made a spreadsheet. So did my dad. My dad started watching anime too.
You got him into it?
I did on accident because I was like, my parents can't know I like anime because it's embarrassing. And now my dad has a bunch of anime figures in his room. And we both have spreadsheets of our favorites.
Wow. Not only anime, but spreadsheets and anime.
Yes.
Which is the best anime name.
That's that describes me perfectly, spreadsheets and anime. Yeah, Attack on Titan is always a classic. It's, I think, the most mainstream one. And it's very violent. If you're not into that, then probably don't watch it. What else? It is very difficult just to think of one. Let's see. I don't know. I might have to get back to you on that.
Yeah, you might have to watch your AI presence because we talked about.
I burnt myself out on that.
It's amazing how film school will kind of take a lot of bandwidth and make you forget things.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because you watch like so much other quality content.
It's true. It's also a thing of just I watch so much of it. And it's like if you watch a lot of sitcoms and you're like, oh yeah, this happened in this show and it actually happened in a different show. Like they kind of blend together.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. There were many times when I was in the lecture room. We were talking about have you seen this pivotal, 20th century Fox movie that everyone should have watched by now? And we're like, well, no, but go on.
I hadn't seen most of them.
I haven't seen most of them either. I still remember that besides anime, you love Doctor Who, and I just remembered once we had that one segment where we talked about Doctor Who in passing. You're like, I'm into it. Tell me all the trivia, I'll answer it.
I think the title sequence was put on the screen. I was like, yes. Oh, and once in TV history class.
Yeah.
Well,
sci-fi.
I mean, I'd like to know how many movies before 2000 you guys have seen. Like you can probably count them on one hand.
That's a good question, actually.
I mean,
I've seen a good amount because. Sorry, David, I interrupted you.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I've probably watched a lot because as an animation guy, a lot of Disney movies were made before the 2000s.
Yeah.
So I'd need more hands.
Well, let's say not animation.
Okay, then it's is there a negative number? No, I'm pretty sure I've watched at least a few. I do remember watching a couple of black and whites, because why not? Billy Wilder. I learned about him before I became a scriptwriter. It's one of those YouTube videos. I just learned something random today. I was like, oh, he's the greatest scriptwriter in history. I was like, oh, it's Billy Wilder apparently. I should watch this guy. And Sunset Boulevard is probably one of my more favorite films now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those are ones I haven't even seen.
Wow.
And then I guess Home Alone counts. There's a lot of comedies that were made before the 2000s. Oh yeah, it definitely was made before the 2000s because I do remember that in Home Alone 2, Kevin McAllister was on the Twin Towers. So.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yep.
And Donald Trump was in there as well.
That's
he
right.
was.
Yeah. Honestly, Donald Trump, my favorite political celebrity, I think, in Hollywood actor.
Okay.
I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger's a close second, but there you go. I just liked his performance where he was just in the hotel and be like, just go that way.
Truly a moving performance.
A moving, Oscar-winning.
Moving, comedic gold, all of it.
But on that bombshell, talking about anime, I did give you an anime to watch as part of our trade.
let's go back one more second to your list of
Yes.
movies before
That's right.
2008.
Before 2000, I've actually seen quite a few. My dad, again, shout out to my dad, was a big movie guy. He is a big movie guy. So growing up, we watched movies every Friday. So most of them were before 2000, black and white. So I've seen, Citizen Kane and Casablanca, the classics, but also movies I don't even know the name of because they were very niche and I don't remember them. But I watched a lot. And Planet of the Apes I love.
The originals, like the
Yes.
70s.
I also like the new trilogy. I haven't seen the new one, but the originals are great. There's some animated ones too, but
Yeah, doesn't count.
live action.
Yeah.
Did the end of Planet of the Apes get you?
Huh?
Did the end of the Planet of the Apes get you? Because, like, it's the whole thing's like, oh, is this going
The
to be Earth or
secret,
something?
the twist
I,
ending.
I think I knew.
You
I
think you
think
knew?
it was too ingrained in pop culture. I don't even know how I knew. I just did.
Did you watch The Simpsons?
I did.
Because
yes.
there was a scene in The Simpsons. It's a great scene where Homer is making a speech about that. Like there's something that he was referencing regarding that, and then he got it while he was making the speech, and then he goes on this really emotional impact scene that he finally gets the ending. It was pretty funny.
Oh, there was a whole Planet of the Apes episode on The Simpsons, wasn't there? I feel like I remember that.
I remember
I don't know.
there's a
Or
Planet
some
of the
bit.
Yeah. There was a Planet of the Apes section on Futurama actually, where they had a musical version of it.
Oh, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because there wasn't like a full episode of The Simpsons
Yeah, okay.
on it.
I'm getting my memories mixed up.
Anyway, I think a lot of people have probably learned pop culture from The Simpsons.
Probably.
Which honestly kind of bad because as an animation guy Western, I actually haven't watched like that much Simpsons.
What? You gotta at least watch like the good seasons.
The first 10 seasons, well, really season like
Yeah.
3 to 10.
Because like
The
I only
golden age.
because like if I like mentioned like Who Shot Mr. Burns, like I didn't watch that episode. I watched like YouTube like recaps of it. I'm like, yeah, no, it's actually like really good writing. I should probably watch that. Who Shot Mr.
Well,
Burns.
they're sitting there waiting for you. If you
Yeah,
ever
I
want to
know.
get into it, it is they were good comedy seasons.
I got you.
It's
right?
true.
Because like in terms of like adult animations, like there's The Simpsons, there's like Family Guy, and there's like maybe like American Dad, and like there's Rick and Morty, and like I gotta like figure out which one I want to like get into first.
Yeah.
You'd
I
say
mean,
Simpsons, right?
I would. I haven't
yeah.
seen the other ones. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of them.
Yeah.
I would definitely recommend like those middle years of The Simpsons because, I mean, if you just look
Well,
at the writers on there, it's amazing
technically,
comedic writing.
Yeah, it's true. They had Conan O'Brien
Yeah.
as a writer, which, but you can't even call them middle seasons because there's like
That's
30
true.
seasons now. So it's the first third.
The first third, 3 through 10, as you said. I think I have season 17 on DVD, which is also pretty good, but it's not to the same standard.
Hey, Weird Al was on it though.
He was. A lot of people were on it.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities. Which is always kind of funny because like now as a Disney guy, as I think I'm going to establish myself now. Simpsons were bought out by Disney, so
Oh,
it is
yeah.
on Disney Plus
That's
now.
right.
It is.
Yeah.
And then you have all those short films they have now of like
Oh yeah,
The Simpsons with every single Disney character imaginable.
I saw one of those for fun, and it wasn't that good.
It really was, but like, hey, there you go. If you want fan service,
The feature film actually was pretty good though too.
It was,
the
yeah.
Simpsons feature film.
oh,
I enjoy that one.
Yeah. But yes, why don't we move over to our other segment, which is where David and I swap movies from our wheelhouse to see how the other thought of them, and our guest gets to listen
Hooray!
and comment as
There
you
you
feel you want to.
Alright, to switch gears, right? Because I gave you the 3D anime movie Lupin the III, right? Which I'm sure you're familiar with, Aidan.
Lupin the First.
No,
Yes.
Lupin the III.
It's called Lupin the III the First.
Lupin the III the First. Yes,
That's
Lupin the III
that's the
First.
name of the
That
movie,
is the name of the movie. Yeah.
which is a little bit confusing off the hop, but
Honestly, a lot of anime movies are titled very confusingly.
Are you telling me you don't understand Evangelion 3.0.1 plus 1.0?
I thought I was reading a serial number. Like, you're reading the barcode.
it's like that stupid Sony phone that came out a while ago, the Sony 1, and then there was the Sony 1 2 and the Sony 1 3.
Yeah. You're right.
Lack of creativity in the name, but a good film.
It was a good film.
Yeah.
We actually, because we talked so much about animation already, we should actually talk about the live action film. Because you gave me Collateral.
Oh, whichever. We can do either one first.
Well, we'll switch gears now because we'll take a break from the animation fans because I think all the live action people are sleeping. But yeah, Collateral was genuinely quite good as an action film, right? Because it's Tom Cruise and it's Jamie Foxx, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tom Cruise plays a villain in this movie.
Mm-hmm. Different thing for him.
It's a different thing for him because I'm familiar through Tom Cruise through the Mission Impossible movies, right? And it's Top Gun, right? He's in Top Gun, right?
That's what kind of put him on the map.
That you can tell how much not early 2000s live actions I've watched because it took me a while to figure that one out. But yeah, he normally plays the action hero role, but he plays the villain in this one. But it was kind of weird because the whole dynamic between Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx is are they going to kind of become friends through this kind of thing, right? Where it's almost not he's imparting some life knowledge to him, because Jamie Foxx's character is very he's in his own normal world. He's very comfortable with things, right? He's a taxi driver for 20 years, I think, and he keeps saying I'm gonna go make it big. I'm gonna go to the Maldives one of these days. But no, he's stuck in this world. But then his life gets turned upside down when he meets Tom Cruise, who is an assassin of I think for a drug cartel, eliminating witnesses for a very important trial. But yeah, I've throughout the entire movie, kind of the movie you gave me last episode, which was The Game. Whereas that running question is is this real or is this not? My running question through this movie was are these two gonna kind of become a money heist type partnership, where I'm cool helping you kill people, and it kind of happened to that. Throughout the midpoint of the movie was Jamie Foxx's character getting quite brave when he's talking to the drug cartel people actually. And yeah, he did the very classic thing. He had glasses on. He took them off, and you can tell things got serious.
I wouldn't go so far as to say he joined him in being glad to be killing people.
Yeah. I was about to say that he never got that because by the end of the movie, I still felt that he was a very still scared person at the end, right? That he was being brave kind of out of necessity, right? Where it's almost to the point where he knows that either he dies doing this or he dies not doing this. He was I might as well try. That's kind of the vibe I got from it, where he's willing to kind of step out of his comfort zone now.
Well, and I would call that a change.
I call that a change as well, right?
He did it out of necessity, yes, but he found the courage. That was something that I don't think he had before. He was always kind of reserved, and I don't think he thought himself capable of that. Even in the scene when he's talking with the lawyer, the love interest.
Yes.
He doesn't have the courage to talk to her really. He sort of has his persona, but then he kind of kicks himself when she gets out because he didn't get her number.
Yeah.
And then she of course comes back and gives him her card, which is a link in the movie because she becomes part of the whole plot.
Yeah.
But he goes from, I think it's a really good example of a character arc.
Yeah, very good example of a character arc. Because, as an introvert, as I'm sure you are, Aidan.
Yes.
If I was driving a taxi and I was I'm trying to raise this girl up, and then she leaves, I'd be dang it. I guess I go on with my life. But yeah, no. I think it was a movie character that I could actually relate to pretty well.
Yeah, I thought so too. I liked his arc. I also you do get this sense that Tom Cruise is kind of mentoring him in this sense. He's almost learning some of his courage from Tom Cruise, but he's not letting it turn him into the evil man that Tom Cruise is.
Because I think what they did is they did a really good job making Tom Cruise just genuinely evil. Mm-hmm. Because whenever he talked about his background, he's I murdered my mom and I'm fine with it.
Well, and then he passes that off as a joke.
Yeah, he passes it
but
off
you
as a
don't
joke.
know
Yeah.
if it's actually true or not, the way he says it.
So yeah, no, I always got that vibe that this man is genuinely evil, and it would be really, really bad if this man I'm fine with this now.
Yeah.
But so I like that he was very, very real, and there were moments where he did get enough bravery to actually run away, and I'm genuinely well, good for you. I'm so happy, but also you're kind of screwed because that's literally Tom Cruise doing his Tom Cruise run after you. There's no way you're getting away. but yeah, no. I will have to say though, this is I did this for the game as well, of the suspension of disbelief, because it's so much harder for me to suspend my disbelief for a live action movie than it is for an animation. When they meet up, right? Because originally, right, I got the sense that Tom Cruise is a very, very professional assassin, right? He's got quite the record on him, right? When he meets him off, he plays off, he's a real estate agent, he's got 5 clients, he shows him the money, he's like, help me do this, right? And then he goes to kill his first client, right? But then the way he kills his first client is he falls out of a window onto the taxi cab. In a spot he specifically told him to park at. And I felt that was really messy for what is essentially a very professional assassin, right? And the way he plays it off, right? It's like, oh, I didn't kill him. The bullets and the fall killed him. And it's like there wasn't really an explanation, like, did it go wrong? Did it go right? Did he intend for this to happen? So that was another, like, part of it where I was kind of curious, like, is this guy, like, doing this on purpose? Like, was this, like, a mentorship type thing? Because, like, it specifically was, like, help me now bury the body in the back of your taxi cab. You're in this now.
Yeah, and I think, I think that's kind of supposed to be the inciting incident, and, it needed to be something that was kind of shocking, that brought Jamie Foxx into it. Otherwise, he would be able to hide the fact that he was an assassin the whole time.
Exactly.
But that was the solution that the writer came up with to make it something of a necessity to bring Jamie Foxx into it with full knowledge of what's going on, maximize that fear that he's trapped. And so, it's probably, not in line with a very professional hitman, but it served the progression of the movie.
It definitely did, yeah. So I think I've, like, the other movie that I probably would have believed it more, but, like, had assassins was Bullet Train. You watched Bullet Train, right?
I haven't. It has Thomas the Train Engine.
It does have Thomas the Tank. That's my favorite thing to talk about Bullet Train. Thomas the Tank Engine's plot relevant in this super, like, dark and gritty action film. But yeah, like the assassins in Bullet Train were very, like, human, actually, because they messed up constantly. If Tom Cruise's character was, like, kind of like that level of human, where it wasn't, like, that robotic, like almost Terminator, I would have been more accepting of him tossing a guy out a window by accident. But he was constantly very, very cold, very calculated, very meticulous, especially when he talked to the targets he killed. Like, it was genuinely, like, I've got very much Terminator vibes from him. But no, like, that was the one part that rubbed me off, because Tom Cruise's character was genuinely very frightening, and I'd never seen that out of him. But yeah, like, on that note, right, action movies. I said this to you, because action movies are kind of films that I'm totally fine watching, because they felt very anime to me. They felt very animation. You can just go very big, very spectacle. Like, I think I told you that there's a couple of Oscar-winning films that I wouldn't watch my own volition, because I think they're kind of boring. I'll watch them, like, if somebody tells me to, and I'll be like, yeah, no, it's a good movie. I genuinely like the cinematography, the storytelling, but I wouldn't watch it again. I'll watch Shrek multiple times because I found it entertaining. But yeah, like, as our animation guy, to bring you into this conversation, do you like action movies?
I do. I don't watch a lot of them, but every time I do, I like them a lot.
And what's funny is I wouldn't even call Collateral an action movie. Like, there is action in it.
Yeah.
If you're really wanting to know, I think the proper classification, it would be a thriller.
Yeah.
Maybe suspense thriller. And I mean, definitely with action. But sorry, go on.
I've not seen this movie. What was I saying?
Action.
Oh, yes,
like, which action movies maybe you've seen or enjoy? Or
I love the John Wick movies. Jason Bourne, like the big mainstream ones, Mission Impossible, just stuff with really fun action scenes because it's an action movie. I would say the plot doesn't matter much, but I did watch Uncharted a couple years ago, and I did not like it at all.
Yeah. I still think that the reason why that movie failed is because they cast Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. And are you familiar with the Uncharted series?
No, I've never played them. I know about that, though.
The way I would probably describe it is Indiana Jones, but younger, I think.
Yeah.
Kind of more manly, I think. And, like...
More modern.
Yeah, more modern, right? And Tom Holland doesn't, like, radiate, like, very, like, machismo energy.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't even have a beard. That's the one thing.
That's
like,
true.
If they cast any single actor that had a beard and, like, had, like, at least a couple, like, more defined muscles on it, I kind of would have vibed at it more.
They could have cast me.
Yeah, they could have cast you. Well, you're 6 foot, right? You
totally.
lift, right?
Yep. That's a joke. I don't.
But yeah, no, like, but yeah, what do you agree? Like, as an animation guy, like the live action movies you watch, you have more fun watching action than, like, straight like romance or drama.
Yeah, like you. I just like spectacle.
Yeah.
I just like seeing pretty lights and explosions.
That's yeah. Because that's probably because I heard that you also struggle with like writing drama, and that's also
Yeah.
me as well. And that's probably because I don't watch that's my weakness. I just don't watch that much live action. I know animation, so I know comedy, and I know like action, so I know how to write something spectacle.
Yeah.
But like it's like very intimate, exposition driven, emotional. It's like I have to pass it on to someone else.
I do really enjoy drama and thriller,
Yeah.
and part of it is because I'm like, I have no idea how someone could have this in their brain. Because when I try to write drama, I'm like, my brain is like, put a joke in there. Put a joke in there.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I can't. I can't make this really serious thing happen because of a donut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of fascinating to me just to be like, wow, this is amazing drama, and now I'm crying, and I don't understand how this could be made.
Well, it's a testament to how we each have different skills, and I think that's the way it's supposed to be, and we're meant to progress in the areas of strength that we have. And it doesn't mean that you're limited either. Like if you ever want to try to go in that direction, I think anything can also be learned, but it might take more time.
Yeah.
Because I always thought like I identified drama writing as a weakness, right? But if I don't know if I have to identify a weakness that I have to like fix now, right? Like I have to like spend my entire life fixing, or I should just continue writing the stuff that I like writing, which is funny action movies.
Exactly. Maximize where you've got the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I feel like if you were to write a live action, right? I feel like it would be the perfect movie to cast like Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart in. And like my kind of thing is just the same thing but animated.
Yes.
But yeah.
Animated Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson.
Animated Kevin. I honestly don't know why it hasn't happened.
Yeah,
yet.
exactly. That sounds
True.
like
That
a
sounds like-
film or Saturday
wait,
morning
no,
cartoon.
They have done that. It was Super Pets.
That's right.
Yeah.
That is right.
I didn't watch it because I just didn't care. But like,
Isn't it exactly those two actors?
it is exactly those two actors. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I guess I'll go watch that movie now.
You have to.
I guess I have to.
Next week.
Next week.
No.
Well, and speaking of animation and archaeology
Yeah.
Yes.
and Indiana Jones,
Lupin the III.
that's what I got. Like, that's what I associated it with. It was, I mean, very cool animation, very creative, like, story, and the action. It's almost to the point where, like, I get it with regular anime that there's this kind of bouncing off the walls action, and no one ever gets hurt and everything. It was a little bit interesting to see that in an animation, a CGI animation with like realistic adults. I just makes me worried that kids are gonna watch this and like go run into traffic and cars won't bother me. But that's just kind of a style thing that I would have to get used to. It also, I mean, uses that to great effect because it lets you do things you can't normally do, like the way he gets out from a pile of people, police officers trying to catch him, and he just jumps out for the top of them, without his suit on, because you like let them grab his clothes and he jumps out. And then tons of other stylized action that you could never do other than CGI, like the samurai that cuts the bus in half with one leap and one swing. So it's a lot of fun. I felt it was a little much when he used his gun to shoot a nut off of a bolt on the highway to drop a sign. That was kind of the extreme end of what kind of cartoon action would even maintain some believability.
He's just that cool. He's just that much. He's that cool, man. John Wick could do the same thing.
You definitely get the cool vibe with Lupin. Yes, you get it's part cool and part kind of I don't know what the other side of it is. Like insane, clumsy,
Wacky? Quirky?
Ridiculous.
quirky. This guy shouldn't be alive, but somehow keeps plodding along. But he's always in control. Like he can't lose. And the perfect foil to fight the Nazis.
Yeah.
That was the main antagonist, even to the Hitler himself, which, I mean, spoilers. We're always putting our spoiler warning at the beginning of these, but he shows up, and then of course it's Lupin who
he's
set
dressed
it up,
as Hitler. Yes.
dressed up. But the threat of the Reich was kind of right there for the main danger of the film, and Lupin managed to deal with it along with the help of his friends in a very stylish, adventurous way. It brought us to far-reaching locales. There was also things like the black hole machine, which was super cool.
Kind of out of nowhere, but like you kind of have to vibe with it.
And I don't think it was very scientifically accurate with how the black holes work. I study physics a little bit, but again, animation. It's fun to bring in stuff like that because it's the visual spectacle of it all. I would say I bumped a little bit when they're on the path towards they're retrieving something from this temple, and it was almost beat for beat Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I've watched all the Indiana Jones, and that's actually the reason I gave you that movie, because I'm trying to find the animations that you could kind of vibe with, and it's very Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, and that's great. It's just that this one sequence was almost taken from the script.
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
I think there's a difference between like homage and like just straight up copying. I think it's in the middle between homage and copying.
It was close.
Yeah,
It may be. It maybe is more homage, but it was close because there was that bridge that the super blue magic things made into a bridge that was like the invisible bridge in Indiana Jones, and then right after that, the enemies just are there, and it was like but it's just a few beats, and I mean, hey, that's an amazing movie, so it's inspired a lot of people to enjoy film and want to make cool films.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know if you agree with me with this one, but like I kind of liked watching Lupin just a little bit more than Indiana Jones because I just liked ensemble casts. And Lupin, I think, as you know, came from a manga, right?
Yes,
And
1967.
1960. You know off the top of your head.
I looked Wikipedia yesterday.
Oh, very good, dude. But yeah, I love that it was just a cast of characters that weren't like. They did roles that Indiana Jones or I guess Lupin couldn't do, right? Like the samurai guy and you know the gunslinger, right? And even like the girl with the machine gun who could fly planes, like it kind of like rounded out like the adventurer cast. Whereas like Indiana Jones is always like it's always switching up the people he's working with. Like one day it just Marion.
Yeah.
But and then you know you have Short Round in that one, but they always like they switch them out. So it's always him who's doing things, but like in this one it's like they're all kind of like on the same boat. I just like that because it generates like a lot more action. Like they do more things, and they also, of course,
And they can come in and save each other and depend on each other. And ensembles leave a lot of options for story.
I think this ensemble casts are kind of just like a very anime thing. You agree with that? Like,
Yeah,
it's just like
totally.
They just have like a lot of characters that just bounce around. But that was like the hardest thing for like a regular like live action thing to do is to establish like a lot of like ensemble people. And I guess that's the strength of animation because, like, not only do they look different in terms of, like, their animation style, but they look visually different, they talk different. So it's so much easier to, like, differentiate them. Whereas, like, you take, like, the Ocean's 11 team, and they're all, like, dressed in black. But, like, I don't know.
And now, is this a series where there have been several movies previous or shows?
Do you want to jump into this? Because I feel like you want to nerd out.
Actually, this movie we're talking about is the first Lupin movie I've seen, and I think it's still the only one, but I have knowledge about the rest of it. So it started as a manga in 1967. and it was just on the page for a while, but then I think the first movie was in 1978 or so. And there's been some, because it became very popular. There's also a TV series. So there's movies every few years. So there was one, The Mystery of Mama was the first one. The second one is probably the most famous, because it was by Hayao Miyazaki, which was the Castle of Cagliostro. But yeah, so they've been pretty steadily just rolling them out ever since the 70s.
Okay, and it's the same cast, or same characters.
Same characters, always Lupin. Sometimes he has a different coat on, but that's about the only change.
Yeah, because they keep the personality of all the characters kind of consistent throughout all the iterations.
Yeah, if you went back to the Miyazaki one, I think you would see it's pretty similar to the one we just watched, which is from 2018 or 2019, in terms of character.
Because I definitely got the sense that there was a pre-existing relationship with, say, Lupin and the police inspector who was trying to catch him, and consistently went, Lupin!
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed very much like just if you watch a cartoon and there's the one guy that's is trying to fool him every time and doesn't, and he comes back every episode.
Yeah,
Pink
it
Panther,
definitely felt like that.
Yeah, it's Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely Pink Panther vibes. Pink Panther times Indiana Jones equals Lupin.
Hey. Yeah, Lupin's the Robin Hood character. He's a good thief.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the diary with its mechanical case that had intricate moving parts, and it reminded me of the game The Room, the app game. Have you ever played it?
No.
No, actually.
There's actually like 4 or 5 of them now. But anyway, it's lots of little boxes that you can actually turn the dials and figure out the puzzles.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those little tiny apps where it's like different levels where you just have I just solve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Last Onion did that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was a cool story mechanism, and it was something that you could do in CGI that worked well.
Yeah.
So yeah, good movie.
Yeah, good movie. You like the animation style as well?
Yeah.
I always had to ask you that, like, cause like for what was it? Collateral. I genuinely like the cinematography of it. Like a lot of like long shots. So like it's still like a taxi going through like downtown LA at night, which must have been like very very hard to film for all the actors because they were all night scenes. But it was genuinely like, apart from it being action, it was actually really relaxing because it just had like in the taxi constantly there was like very smooth I guess like indie rock or something like that. I don't know my music genres, but it's like that
Alternative rock.
Alternative rock, thank you.
Yeah.
And then also like jazz as well, because they do go to a jazz bar, and it was honestly really like aesthetically pleasing. And then like Lupin the III was very more like almost steampunky, I guess, with like the Indiana Jones. Would you say that?
Yeah, I would. They both have definite aesthetic.
Yeah.
Works for each genre.
Yeah, I got you.
I have to say, the first time I saw, I think, a trailer for this Lupin movie, I was like, it was the laser scene where he's going through the lasers.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, wow, I gotta see this movie. It looks so cool. And then it didn't come to America for a while, so I had to wait. But I was pretty stunned by it. Like, I would put it up there with Pixar movies, I think. At least of the time. Maybe not right now.
The quality-wise, definitely. Yeah, I was impressed with the level of detail, for sure.
Because like I gotta tell you now, because like I'm watching a lot more animation from like other places instead of like Western. I got a whole bunch of like these Chinese animations, right, that are just telling like Chinese mythology stories, like Nezha and like the Monkey King. Brilliantly, amazingly done, like stunningly spectacular.
Yeah.
Because they're like they really play up the mythology of it. It does feel like very actiony, but it captures like the emotion as well. Like they humanize mythological creatures very well. Like geez, I wish I remember the name of this one, but I think it's like the Dragon King or something like that. But it was a story about like this swordsman who's trying to achieve like godhood, that is trying to save this like one fox girl from being, I think, murdered, because like the demon spirit inside of her killed like a whole bunch of like the gods as well. But she's like a girl; she doesn't really know her power. She just wants to be reincarnated to someone who's nicer. But like there's constantly this guy who's like, I need to get revenge or something like that, and you should kill her as well so you can achieve godhood. But, like it's an actual like Chinese mythology story. I'll look it up and probably like I'll send it to you. So you
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Yeah, you could just add it in the podcast, be like, the name is this, in like the subtitle. But it was genuinely like really good. Like for a guy who mostly watches Western animation, like I want to write something like this and bring it to Western audiences.
Cool.
And I think it's honestly, if you like anime, it's a good transition to that. If you like live action, you love the mythology aspect of it because it's like an actual real story.
Right.
But yeah, I'll send it to both of you guys. I think you'd like it.
Cool.
But yeah, I mean, I just still like animation because it's just a beautiful thing to watch, regardless of the medium it ever shows up in.
Yeah, there's that aesthetic factor and the things that you can do in animation that you tend not to do in live action. So it's like a different vehicle for drama.
Indeed.
Yeah. Is there any just to round up your thing, is there any animations that you'd recommend Jason to watch? Because I gotta send him something for our next episode.
Oh man, I should have prepared for this.
No, off the top of your head. Usually the best ideas come off the top of your head.
Off the top of my head, animation?
Yeah.
Any animation?
Any animation. Dude.
Have you seen Kung Fu Panda?
Yes, the first one. The first one I
Dang
have.
it.
But the second one, have you watched the second one?
No, I haven't.
The second one's great.
Because, like, in Kung Fu Panda, we're gonna have to talk about this more if we do end up watching Kung Fu Panda for the next podcast, but Kung Fu Panda 1 is very, very nice. It's, like, a genuine, like, Kung Fu story. Mm-hmm. And then Kung Fu Panda 2, like, really shifts it because you go into the backstory of Po, the main character. Mm-hmm. And it gets really dark. Like, genuinely, like, the villain for that thing is a really cool peacock.
Okay.
Like, very, almost, like, dictatory. Like, he kills, like, a lot of people.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then 3 and 4, like,
I haven't seen those ones.
Yeah. But
I mean, that's often how good drama takes shape, is when in the context of something dark happening that you need to overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, that should be your next movie to watch, dude. Because you've watched, like, a lot of, like, martial arts movies as well, live action.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like martial arts.
This is it in animation.
There you go.
Well, it's up to you. You get to pass along what you want to pass along.
No,
so.
I have Kung Fu Panda 2. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
As a person who still collects DVDs and Blu-rays, I have a very veritable list.
That's why it's perfect for us to be doing this, because I have the same DVD and Blu-ray collection, different movies.
Actually, do you have a DVD collection?
No.
Really?
I have a little bit. My parents have most of the things that I watched, like, when I was living with them. I have a little bit in my room back home that's mostly just, I like this anime, so I'm going to buy a DVD of it.
Yeah.
I have one Blu-ray here, which is my favorite movie, Millennium Actress, another animation from, like, the year before I was born. 2001. Which is very good, but I've already recommended Kung Fu Panda 2.
Yeah. Well, I'll watch Millennium Princess just for myself.
Yeah. It's a very good movie.
Yeah. But yeah, no, like, I treat DVDs like collector items now. Because, like, we have streaming, right?
Yeah.
You can just pirate things now. But
That's true.
I like having a physical copy, just like, I watched this movie, I'll just put it on my shelf as a display thing.
Yeah.
I definitely go the purchase route, because we're creators, and we want to get paid.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go.
And technically, because we're scriptwriters, it's a write-off.
True.
There you go. There's that reason too.
Yeah, I like just having the ones that are my favorites, so I can look at my shelf and be like, oh yeah, that movie. Instead of just finding it every 5 years on streaming and be like, oh yeah.
Because now, even though, like, I have Disney Plus and I have all the Disney movies, I'm just lazy, so I'll watch it through streaming instead of having to, like, I have to plug in my DVD player, take the case out, put the thing in the thing, and put it in there. And there's actually a scratch in there, so I have to go to the sink and wash it off, and then put it back in. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll just use my PlayStation.
There's definitely care needed for discs.
Actually, that's a funny thing, dude, because once I got my PS4, we got rid of our Blu-ray player because it just essentially replaced the function.
Yeah.
But I had to explain to my mom how to work a PS4 controller, too.
And that's how she started to be an expert Mortal Kombat player.
Yeah, dude. Actually, no, this is like a side tangent, but, like, she can't play video games at all. Like, she was asking me, like, oh, David, I want to play video games with you. I was like, okay, I have Minecraft on my Wii U. We could try that. It feels like a very intro thing. But, like, she didn't know how to walk forward.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and funnily enough, right? Here's something that I think most Minecraft players wouldn't know. Minecraft Wii U is split screen multiplayer.
What?
Yeah, it's split screen multiplayer, and also you can get Mario skins as well because it's
That's
Nintendo
cool.
as well. I think it's actually the only like Minecraft game with microtransactions actually, because you can buy skins straight up. But yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but like I was literally there. I was like, okay, Mom, I'm gonna build you like a wall to like walk down, right? And just you'll figure it out. And she still couldn't do it. Yeah, no. So
It's not for everybody.
it's not for everybody.
No,
Yeah.
we take for granted that we learned this when we were like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
I bought my mom a house flipper video game
Oh, that's actually fun.
because, well, it kind of was, but my mom was a house painter before she retired, and so that's what she did, and that's kind of why I had the idea. But I think it felt too much like work, so it might not be the best idea.
I mean, that's the funniest thing. There's so many video games where like it's just a job you're doing for fun. Like Power Washing Simulator really took off, but it's just power washing.
Yeah.
For like an hour.
There is something cathartic about cleaning something. Like I
Yeah.
think that's something
Yeah.
that some people would actually like. There's a bit of OCD going on within us. So
Yeah.
sometimes,
Yeah.
Honestly, right, the next guest we should bring on, I'm thinking is one of the, because VFS is writing for film, TV, and games. We should bring a games
we
writer
could bring
in.
bring
Yeah.
a games writer
And just talk to him like, what's your favorite simulator? And be like, it's PC cleaning simulator. I really like intricate
disc
things.
defragmenter.
Disc defragment. I'd love to find like the most niche simulator game. Like it's like
Ooh.
I don't know, shopping cart attendant at Walmart simulator,
I have tree simulator.
tree simulator.
You're just a tree.
You're just a
What,
tree?
do you have any control over your growth, or
I don't think so.
You just boot it up. And it's just like, do you choose like your avatar, like it's evergreen, oak tree?
I think you're just a tree.
You're just a tree. You
You
just
go-
know the tree.
Yeah. You just leave it on.
Very funny.
it's just a screensaver?
It's a
Is what you're saying.
Yes. Exactly.
No, Tree Simulator is actually the top 10 Battle Royale game, actually.
Game of the year.
Game of the year, dude.
Every year.
Every-
Well, before we kind of wind down here, why don't we ask you what your plans are, Aidan, going
My
forward?
plans. I have them. My plan is to move to LA to be a screenwriter, even more than I am.
You're gonna make the jump to the big LA.
I hope so. I don't know if it's actually possible, but that's my plan.
Oh, yeah. You have a better chance than me and Jason because we're Canadian.
Yeah.
But you're American.
I'm American Canadian.
So
Which
that's
honestly, you even more better because you just get to work both in Vancouver and
Yes.
Hollywood.
best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds.
And you might as well make use of that American passport. That's,
Indeed.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Well,
jealous, dude. I'm jealous of you, dude. You just got like the best starting set, like a video
Yeah.
game. You just spawned with like, all the best options, dude. Optimized immediately.
Yes.
But be careful when you're down there. You don't just respawn when
Yeah.
you get stabbed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it is LA. You gotta remember that.
It
That's where
is LA.
GTA is set.
That's true.
Actually, you played GTA, right?
I played it once.
Oh, GTA 5?
Yeah.
Oh, you should at least prepare yourself because genuinely there's videos of people I know how to get around LA now because I've played GTA 5.
That's a good point. I think I have it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
You
how I
can just
spend all
use it
my
as a
time.
map, basically.
Yeah, you can literally use it as a map. And the other thing is you can literally plug in the radio station to play on GTA just into your car and it just sounds like a regular radio station.
I wonder if there's videos on YouTube where it's just like how to get to this restaurant, but in real life, but it's just GTA.
There must be.
I can use that as my GPS.
Yeah, dude. Actually, it's just so funny, dude. There's gonna be taxi drivers in the future that they want to get around because they've played I don't know, there's gonna be pilots actually. There's gonna be pilots that attribute their entire career to Microsoft Flight Simulator.
They probably already are.
They probably already are.
Yeah.
My granddad was a Air Force pilot that was just addicted to Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be my advice as a young person to an old person. If you have kids, choose what video games to give them because you're
Yeah.
setting them up
Be
for a job.
strategic.
Be
Yeah.
strategic
Yes.
because you can give them, power washing simulator,
Yeah.
and you set them up for a minimum wage.
If I want them to be an arborist, I'd give them tree simulator.
Yeah, you give them tree simulator, right? Ooh, surgeon simulator would be good if you want them to really.
You can find out if you've got a future or not, depending on how well your patients do.
Exactly, right? I really do hope that resumes are just your Steam playlist of how long you've played certain games for.
It will probably happen.
Yeah, it'll probably happen. But LA, of course, for you,
Yes.
right? Where you're gonna go down. You have a studio in mind?
Anywhere that will take me.
Anywhere to take you. Because I do know that you did apply for the Nickelodeon Writer Fellowship.
I
right?
did.
Where you submitted your, what is it?
I submitted my pilot. That's my president.
Yeah.
And my spec for What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah. It shows you're a really good comedy writer, I think. I think you'll have a really good chance of that.
I hope so.
I would suggest Cartoon Network, but like they don't have a studio down there anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah. I really would love to work for Cartoon Network.
That was my dream. But I learned recently that Cartoon Network doesn't technically hire writers. A lot of the stories happens in the storyboard room.
I see.
Because all the animation is very animation oriented. Like it has to be this specific scene, so they have to just get the animators to make it, and they just have like a story consultant that comes in to like fix the plot. But yeah.
Huh.
Unfortunately, it's something I can't do because even though I'm an animation fan, I can't draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the one debilitating thing. But I do know that you still can work in animation, but don't know how to draw. Writing. You need to be able to do that. But yeah. I wish the best of luck for you. I'm just
Thank
hoping.
you.
I just hope you do find an apartment to live in down there,
Yeah.
and don't get lost, and don't get stabbed. That's the more important thing.
Yeah. I
think I
because
could.
Collateral did happen in LA too, right?
It did. Yeah, it was all LA.
So yeah,
I'll have to look out for Tom Cruise.
Yeah, you have to look for Tom Cruise. I still remember that. Like their one like running joke is like, "Oh, it's LA. People die all the time." It's like we got like,
Hooray!
The first thing they did is like we're looking for a missing person. They go down to the morgue just to check.
Mm-hmm.
Even the end, I have to spoil the ending. Actually, I probably shouldn't spoil the ending for you.
That's right. We
But,
you haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
And
it. You should watch
you
it.
probably-
That's gonna be my recommendation. Actually, we should say like Collateral for me, four stars. I've ranked it on Letterboxd. Lupin the III for you.
I am going to give it a 4 as well.
All right.
I should start giving you worse movies so we get like more diversifying because you also ranked the last two movies 4s as well.
If you ever want to watch a So Bad It's Good movie, I got you.
That is your brand.
I'm good at that.
Yeah. Well, anyways, thank you for being on this podcast, Aidan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Aidan.
for having me. I had lots of fun.
We will look forward to your illustrious career unfold.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yours too.
Thank you.
I hope this podcast is the best podcast ever. Well, I mean, it is already the best podcast ever. But it becomes very successful. Where can I find this podcast?
That's a good question.
All of the major podcast outlets that will accept it.
All right.
Which I don't know how they choose what they put on or not. So we'll see.
Okay. I will enjoy listening to it while I work.
If anything, we can put it on a thumb drive and hand it to you in the back alley somewhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you'll just find me and Jason just in Vancouver with like a boombox that's just playing our podcast.
Just check random SkyTrain parking lots for us. That's where we tend to hang out.
All right.
But,
So that's it for episode 2. Thanks for joining us, and this is Jason signing off.
and this is David signing out.
Me too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
That's a wrap. Special thanks to Niranj, who made the intro and outro music for this podcast. You can find him on Instagram at his handle @NiranjD. That is @NIRANJD on Instagram.